How about global thermonuclear war?
I grew up loving computers, always enjoyed movies, and WarGames certainly is at the top of my list. I've watched it many times. In fact, I just had the privilege of watching it again with my two younger children and trying to explain all the things that went on back then and how that movie was so influential. Well, with David, I'm very curious, David, what is your involvement in it? What got them inspired to do the movie? If you could share some maybe things in the background, that would really help our viewers get a better understanding of it.
Sure, I would love to, Scott. Well, first of all, there's a 1-hour interview with me with DT, with Dark Tangent, from DEF CON in 2008. We had a fireside chat on the 25th anniversary of WarGames. So what I'll focus on here is really what happened at the beginning, because I don't talk much about that actually in the fireside chat. So I was a hacker, more of a white hat. I had been active in high school in the U.S. Strategic Institute, in AFCEA, the AFCEA chapter in El Segundo, also in the Old Crows, which meant also in El Segundo, actually in Culver City at Hughes Aircraft back then. So I was actually involved. I actually kind of knew a lot more than what it shows in the movie. But so that's how I got involved. It was kind of a coincidence that a secretary for the original agent for the screenwriters just happened to know what I had done and introduced me, and that's how I got involved. But the original idea and the original screenplay were very different from the way the movie came out.
Now, were you able to be on set when they were actually filming any of it and kind of helping them, advising them, sharing technical information or anything of that sort?
Yes, but not much. I was mainly involved in the screenplay. The screenplay was sold to Universal. Universal didn't do the movie, MGM did. It actually had been passed around. Disney owned it at one point. It started in 1979. The idea was based upon what became known as SDI in Star Wars. That policy, it was space-based, it was more AI in it, it was laser and particle beam weapons. It was very different than the original idea. The screenplay was a little bit darker, the original screenplay, but kind of a Neo-ish kind of character of sorts, but it had a lot more AI in it. But it was found that it was just too difficult to explain to the audience back then. So the AI, you can see that it's still the first movie ever to have AI in its time. So in other words, most AI, like in HAL in 2001, it's showing the future, and not on WarGames. In WarGames, it's showing AI in the present. And think about that, even at the end, when Joshua learns, that's really reinforcement learning that we do now. That's all the hot topic and all the rage in AI. And that's from way back then.
It's learning.
Is there any particular scene in the movie that's kind of a standout for you that you really like or enjoy or gives you a chuckle or anything else?
I hate to say that there's really too many. I would say that, for people who know me, they would say it captured my personality quite well. Now, it's not a perfect rendition, and the girlfriend was very different. They knew my girlfriend, and she's not at all like the way Jennifer is in the movie.
List primary targets.
Who should we nuke first?
Let's see. How about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. Great.
But nevertheless, I think they captured a lot of things pretty well. No one scene in particular, but again, I've noticed, even I'm 60 years old now, and I can still see a lot of the same personality as what's shown in the movie. So no one scene per se, but maybe if I had to pick one, I think it's the one where he's on the boat with Jennifer. They're going to the island, and he said, I know what's going on, but nobody really believes me or understands me. I feel that way many times in my life.
Well, if there's ever a WarGames 2, would you be able to help inspire them to get another movie out, a more modern version of it?
We've talked about that. There was a follow-up to WarGames, which was kind of goofy, and nobody saw it. I think it went straight to DVD, so it didn't do much. The screenwriters themselves are not really involved. Walter Parks, he wound up becoming kind of a big shot with Spielberg. and doing quite well. Larry Lasker as well. Larry's more of a personal friend. I see Larry pretty much every time I go back to Los Angeles. I'll go and see Larry. So we keep in close contact, but he's not really involved with any of this anymore. He might be, but it's not likely there will really be a follow-up to WarGames.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again, David, for taking some time out and giving us a little background there. That was great.
My pleasure.